All right, folks, I'm going to give you a little update here, and I need to cover some other information too. I hope I don't forget any. The first thing is I'm going to include in this video some clips of the storm itself. I did the best I could. You know, it's kind of hard to capture it really accurately on camera unless you're really there and you feel the effects of it and so forth. But, you know, I think it'll help to illustrate what we went through. We got real lucky, and that leads me to the second point, is when I put that first video up, I wasn't trying to bullshit you or anything as far as, you know, getting clickbaits or anything, saying that this might be the, this is the end, like in the Doors song, you know. I wasn't trying that at all. In fact, if you notice, that video isn't even monetized. I turned that off, and it will be for this one as well. That'll be turned off. So I'm not looking for that. You know, at that time, the tracking was different. It was going to slam us pretty much head on, or very close at least. So, you know, Tampa Bay luckily dodged a big bullet there. So the next thing is, after, you know, those clips, I'll put clips in as far as a walk around as to what happened as far as the damage goes. Luckily, the damage, as you'll see, is limited to the yard, but there is quite a bit of it. The difference between this one and Irma 5 years ago is this was a little stronger, and Irma went through fast and didn't dump as much rain. Now, I went out to my truck, and I'll show you a clip of that because the truck, you know, it seems to hold water every time there's a hell of a thunderstorm. I figured it'd be a foot of water in the back of the truck, but as you see from the clip, not necessarily the case. So I'm not really sure what happened there, because it doesn't drain that I know of. So anyway, you know, just the way the wind blew and the way location the truck was parked in, I guess, because out back there, it's saturated. I can't get my mower back there. I'm having to drag the limbs across the yard to an area where I can actually park the mower and the trailer to get the stuff to the street. So again, so we're going to cover, I'm going to show you some clips of the storm, actually a clip of us driving down I-75 trying to get home, which is pretty interesting too. There's a line of traffic going northbound while we're heading south. We're flying. They're all backed up, which makes sense. And again, the clips of the storm, and then clips afterwards of around here, and then we'll finish this out. This is, again, just an update. I want to re-emphasize, because, you know, I look at that video that I put up, and it kind of looks like, especially after this is all over and done with, that I was doing something more like, you know, oh, you know, click on this video because it's, you know, looks like we're gonna, you know, die from this thing or something, which obviously it wasn't the case. I was really looking at the current tracking at that time, looking at the possible severity to us, and being completely honest that, you know, this might shut our operations down. Obviously that's not the case, but our operations as far as putting content up relative to this channel is going to be far off. There's a lot of work I got to do here as far as cleaning up the yard, and it's going to be a while before I can do that. So this will probably be the last content before that actually occurs. So again, this won't be monetized. The other one's not monetized. I'm not looking for clicks to earn money. I'm just trying to update y'all on what's going on. So with that, let's go right ahead and we'll show you the clips. Thanks for watching. There's the back, and we have a lake again, although I put 60 tons of dirt out there to fill in some low spots. It's still some areas that are going to get some water, standing water, but it's not as bad as it was. So that'll drain off pretty quick once all this stops, but they're talking about rain in the 20 to 24 inch. That's again 20 to 24 inch range. So 2 feet of rain. So I'm not worried about that building up because it'll flow, you know, that way. It'll flow that way it's designed, the way I had the dirt put in. So I'm not really too worried about that. But you can see, this is what happened with Irma. We had so much debris laying around that it took me about 2 weeks to clean it up. And I'm talking about 2 weeks of like 5 to 7 hours a day out in the yard picking up shit and bringing it up to the road. Yeah, lots of fun. That's that tree I was telling you about. I'm not really too sure if it's gonna hold up or not. I really hope it does. I mean, you know, it's not sick or anything. It's a pretty big tree. I mean, that damn base of that tree is probably, you know, 4 or 5 feet across. And this is just the beginning. There is not much wind right now, comparatively speaking, to what it'll be in a couple hours. Couple of small limbs. I got to move some vehicles here in a minute. I'm gonna keep my trailer over there, but I got to move my wife's car and my truck up closer to the house. Actually, I probably shouldn't be standing underneath that tree, huh? All right, so you got an idea what we're dealing with. And again, this is nothing. This is just some beginnings. This thing is still offshore down south. So probably about later today is where we're going to have the worst of it. And maybe we can get some video, and if the channel and we still exist as far as the capability of generating content, I'll put it up. No promises. Catch you later. I think that pine over there is not long to topple. You know, if them frogs would shut up, it'd be a lot easier to deal with this. My yard used to be nice. That one there makes me the most nervous. That's a big pine. Just heard something. Sounded like something hit the roof. Either that or it was an explosion somewhere. It was a thud. Can't really tell. I don't see any damage. I don't see anything laying up there. I'm gonna go look at a different angle. It's really blowing out here now. I mean, look at this. This is just, what I'm concerned about is this pine here. I mean, she's flexing pretty good at the base, but it is an awfully big tree. As far as the roots have to go down quite a bit. Could have simply been a chunk of wood ricocheted off. I don't know. May have been nothing. Could have been, like I said, a pop down the road, because I don't see anything going on in that roof. Ain't bad, at least. Yeah, I don't see anything. So it could have been something down the road, like a transformer popping or something, but we still have power, amazingly. But here's what it looks like. Water over there is backing up. That's a main drainage. So it's going to threaten that over there, the apartment. Yeah. And we're not even in it yet. It really is only the beginning of it, the earlier parts. So, yeah, not great. I need to do another check on the front and make sure I didn't miss something, because it sounded like something hit hard, or it was, like I said, a boom. I don't know, limb went down there, but it didn't sound like that. It sounded like something hit the house, but then again, I don't know what it was. I don't see any indication of anything wrong with that roof. Of course, it's a metal roof. It would have ricocheted off unless it was something really big. Getting real bad now. It's 4:15. Power's out. Got the generator up. Getting real bad. Neighbor lost two probably 50-foot pine trees across his driveway. I'm real worried about this one back here, which is about the same height, maybe taller. That one right there. But I checked the base of it, and it ain't moving with the wind, so the root system must be pretty good in that one. It is just getting super bad. I'd like to shoot some video outside, but it's just too bad. I can't hardly do it. So we got to shoot through the screen. Freaking yard is a disaster. There is just standing water everywhere. Here's the carnage. Doesn't look like much, but we haven't gotten to the worst of it yet. Definitely got to do some low-hanging fruit trimming. Just a bunch of debris. Back here it's real bad. You know, I put 60 tons of dirt back here to raise this up, but it, you know, you can only do so much. Now, before I did that, there'd be 8 inches of water sitting here because it was so low. So it worked pretty good. There is a couple of low spots, but it will drain off. So it's a lot better than it was. Like I said, this was the low spot. But you know, you can only do what you can do. And so it will drain off, but I got limbs back there, down, yeah, right over there, which is not unusual from that tree. Bunch of limbs over here. And we had Irma, a big limb from this oak came down and actually crushed this fence top, but I was kind of hoping that would happen this time because I want to take this down anyway. But I'm not hoping, but I really didn't give a shit if it did. A limb here, big limb over here. It's a ton of, yeah, pretty big one. This is from that pine most likely that I was concerned about, this one right here. See this guy, whoops, this guy is tall. And I was concerned that it would come out, the root ball would come out and it would fall on the house because this is probably 50, 60 foot tall, maybe more. And it ain't that far, it's a lot closer than the length to the house, said the wife. Yeah, this ain't too bad. Just a ton of crap laying around. I'm probably going to eventually have this tree removed just for peace of mind, but it is in fine shape, it looks like. But you know, these oaks really did a good job kind of shielding it. I was hoping that these oaks would absorb some of that energy, and they obviously did. I mean, these oaks took a beating. So thank you to the oak trees for helping to protect this. And I have to keep my eye on it. What can happen in a tree like this with a big storm on a pine is it can be damaged, cracked, you don't see it, struck by lightning. Of course, I don't know if that's the case or not. And then the tree weakens and then the pine bark beetles get at it, and then the tree has to be removed anyway. So we need to keep our eye on this one. Lots and lots of pickup. Lots and lots of water. All right, so here's, look at this. Just crap everywhere. There's a couple of pine trees twisted right out. I saw what happened was, I think I have a clip of it. This one to the left started to go and hit that one and then pushed them both down with the wind. So I'm not sure what he's going to do with that. I just saw him out here. I was going to ask him if he wanted to try to hack it up. I'd at least get his driveway clear. I mean, it's pretty big pieces, but if we take it from the end, start top down, we could probably get that so we could at least get some, you know, passage. Because, you know, right now, mobility is number one. Mobility and communications from a tactical standpoint. You got to have mobility because you got to get out and get supplies, or supplies have to reach you. So your driveway, your access to your property is important. Now, naturally, yeah, if somebody came over with a car and just parked it over there, and they could shuttle them back and forth to the store, obviously. But other people have their own problems, so you know, really self-sufficiency is the order of the day. And for that case, he has to clean that passageway up as far as the driveway goes. I was concerned about this pine here too, but it wouldn't have done any damage. But you can see I do have a limb. That happened with Irma too. Now the funny thing about it was, one of those limbs from Irma hung there for a year before it came down. Whenever I'd mow the grass, I'd come around that tree, I'd look up to make sure that thing wasn't getting ready to come on my head. And finally one day after, I don't know, maybe a thunderstorm or something, I found that limb on the ground finally. So that one up there might be up there for an equal amount of time. Who knows? The front yard didn't do too bad. Like with Irma, this was just a shit show. But the side over here is real bad, and the back. And the grass is just saturated. I mean, I'm sinking in 3 inches walking around. My God, just like walking in sand. This is where I put the trailer for Irma. It worked pretty well. Essentially where the trailer is parked is right on the property line of my neighbor, but you know, I maintain that all the way up to his driveway, and I cut it. You know, I'm not going to cut half of it. So we've got some, yeah, you can't even see his driveway. It's so cluttered with shit. Mine's somewhat visible. Bunch of litter here, you know, debris over there too. I mean, it's just crap everywhere. It's going to take weeks to clean this up. You know, because I can't even get out in the yard with a mower and a trailer. It's too wet. You got to let that dry up first and then get out there and start picking it up. So once we get power back, we'll be in better shape. And once we get internet back, we can maybe communicate out a little bit. Otherwise, house survived, the shed survived, the vehicle survived, we survived. But it blew the crap out of this properties around here, that's for sure. I'll have to take a ride down the road and see if anybody lost any roofs or anything. I hope not. All right, that's about it for now. Added bonus, the tiny trailer survived too. I was fully expecting the wind to pick this up and toss it. I guess the shed helped protect it. It's the one I pulled behind the motorcycle, the concourse. Because that little tub thing over here, I used to have that screwed down, had to move it out of the way to do the electrical work for my lathe and for the milling machine. I had to push that back in 3-4 times because the wind would come by and it would actually start moving that. And there's stuff in there too. Oh yeah. Tiny trailer is still here. Man, this really sucks. All right, folks, here's an update for you. It's been days since I shot any clips, so I don't even know what I covered or what I've said before, so I apologize in advance if there's any redundancy here. We're still without power. This is day 6 now. We're still on generator, although we did get internet up late yesterday afternoon. So I'm hoping to get this up on the channel to at least give you an update. And that way you know what's going on. Been trying, but like I said, everything's been down. At least, like I said, internet and TV are up as of yesterday. We didn't have anything in that area at all until then. And again, no power, still on generator. So, you know, the yard is pretty much cleaned up of the large stuff. I do have a bunch of small stuff, like this kind of crap laying around and some twigs. I burned a bunch of it on this particular storm, which I didn't do during Irma. Sorry, Greta.
This is all wrong. How dare you?
I think I put most of it or all of it out to the curb. I think in this video rather, there's a couple of clips or one clip of those piles out there. But anyway, Irma generated more material. I don't know why. It was just the way the wind was going, because although I burned some on this storm, I didn't burn enough to essentially offset the amount that Irma I had set out to the road. It was way more stuff. So when you subtract that from that, you know, amount, and of course I remember how much it was, I put it there, that isn't the case. So for some reason we didn't get the same damage as far as trees and so forth and limbs than we did during Irma, even though this storm was a more powerful storm. So yeah, so I'm just continuing cleanup, trying to get some stuff done in the garage, shop related, that I will hopefully have a small video up before next week, where I'm going to leave. Hopefully it's on schedule now to go up to North Georgia and do some riding on the concourse. Can't bring the VFR. I don't have enough time to straighten out the carb issue. And frankly, I don't want a trailer behind my truck. After doing it 2,200 miles, I'd rather just ride up and back, to be honest with you. I think you understand. So that'll be a Concourse 14 only trip. Okay, and then I'm going to also, you know, I'll take video along the way and do it when I get back and get it up on the channel. Before then, I'm going to hope to have a little video on some of the stuff I brought back related to the shop and workflow, tools, work area stuff that are nostalgic and mean a lot to me, and you know, stuff that my dad had that I used when I was much younger, and I think you'll find it interesting. That will be a relatively short video because it isn't a whole lot of stuff. But so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to close this video out, but I'm going to tell you that because we were lucky and this did a Charlie thing, and I was on duty for Charlie on the fire department. I remember that. We almost got nailed by that one too. So we've dodged a bullet twice on this. So Moto-Resto LLC is going to go ahead and send a split donation. I think Salvation Army is going to be one, because Salvation Army, we didn't have a lot of protracted events, but every now and then where I worked, they'd come out and help us out if we were on a job for, you know, more than 6-8 hours or so. And also another charity that I haven't chosen yet. Since we were fortunate, I want to try to help them out because we're able to do that at this time. So it's time to close it. This will be it until I can put something else up. As a reminder, there's no monetization on the previous video or this one as well. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Let's go look in the back of the truck and see what kind of rain accumulated back there. Well, that ain't much. I thought there'd be a foot of water in here.